missing their two best players.
Yeah, that's going to be a big, big thing for the Redbirds. They have a lot of offensive production to replace and fill in with guys like Johnny Kinzinger and Chase Walker being out today, Andrew.
Illinois wins the tip. And the treasured freshman that Brad Underwood keeps raving about, Keaton Wagler with the ball. Mirkovic, one of the Balkans, inside to Zvonimir Ivasic.
What a pass right there from Kylan Boswell. Wow, that was a smooth assist right there.
Another one of the freshmen, this time for Illinois State. Tyreek Coleman gets it over to Scunberg. Ty Pence actually playing with the hand on his left cast. A cast on his left hand, excuse me. That ball staying with Illinois State, but Cooper, we saw him in warm-ups, Pence going through everything with that cast on. It's kind of amazing that he's able to do that.
Yeah, I seriously cannot believe that he's even able to suit up right now. The referees had to come over, check it pregame. He went through every drill, and it seems like he's good to go.
Well, when you're missing the guys that the Redbirds are missing, it's going to be hard. Coleman at point with Boswell trying his best to clamp him up. Makeshift zone starting out for Illinois. Lieb, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Good defense there as Brandon Lieb, the Illinois transfer, turns it over.
I think that's going to be a big key, something that Coach Brad Underwood was harping on, making sure that his guys keep that same defensive presence that they've been working so hard to create this offseason.
Ivasic gives it over to Wagler. Wagler inside to David Mirkovic, charges in and gets fouled. He's going to shoot two.
It's a good take right there from David. There's a nice feed right there by Wagler, too. The true freshman out here seemingly running the point for this Illini offense. Not sure if we totally expected that.
A couple of freshmen for the Illini. Mirkovic for Montenegro, a freshman at 6'9", 255. They said he came in at 270, but Coach Fletch, the strength coach, got him down, and he'll shoot his first free throws in an Illinois uniform. He buries the first.
Yeah, and that's something you touch on, Coach Fletch. That's something that he is known nationwide for, being one of the best strength coaches in the entire country, clearly making an impact felt right there.
Kylan Boswell and Ben Hummerkaus, the two returners on the court, as that one rattles out and is secured by Lieb, who gives it to Coleman, running the point guard, just a freshman, but he's from Illinois. In state, it's got to feel good to be back in your home state playing on this big of a stage as he hits the deck. Zvonimir Ivasic with the steal. He's going to put the brakes on and give it over to his point guard. Instead, bounce pass inside. Mirkovic playing a little bit of that booty ball. Stoppage in play. And already that defense that Brad Underwood talked to us this morning about how he wants to see them play, it's going to be a little bit different. They gave the responsibility on over to Cameron Crocker, his first year with the squad. And so far, it's paying off dividends.
Yeah, it definitely has. And one thing I want to note, too, Big Z right there had the opportunity to try and run and keep things going, but he was able to slow down the offense and make sure that he found the open guy and not turn the ball over.
It looks like right now it's a clock problem. They're trying to figure out what the shot clock's doing. So Boswell's going to be the trigger man. For Illinois State, Jack Doherty, Tyreek Coleman, Brandon Lee, Bowden Scunberg, and Ty Pence are the starting five. They go inside to Mirkovic. Mirkovic, what a move, gets it off the glass, misses, but the rebound and foul, Boswell.
And that's one of the best things about Boswell's game and what he brings to this squad. He's not afraid to get down and dirty and go in fighting for those offensive rebounds.
Boswell at 6'2", 205, plays like a linebacker almost. And they're happy that he decided to come back. The hometown kid went to Arizona for 2 seasons, transferred here to Illinois, and really came on hot at the end of the season, especially in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, he really did. It seemed like he was playing his best basketball in the postseason, something that really helped the Illini. Obviously ended up securing that one tournament victory as well.
Boswell converts the and one, and already a press being put on. They're putting pressure on these Redbirds early. Inbound to Lieb. He gives it right on back, and Coleman going to bring it up the court with Boswell all over him. Good pass to Scunberg, who thought about the shot. Coleman from distance. Rattles off the top, and it's secured by Mirkovic. He's going to take it himself. Boswell, good move to get Coleman on his feet. So far, you talked about that smart shot selection. Nothing too bad from the Illini.
No, they've been playing really good team basketball, making sure that they don't get too rushed or hurried. Right now, it looks like they're trying to find an open man and not force.
Wagler dribbling in. Takes an extra step, gets it rejected, puts it back up. Good defense there. Gets it back. It's a fight on the ground. Skunberg ends up with it. But Jack Doherty showing his defensive prowess for the Redbirds. Skunberg inside move. He gets met by Ivicic. Lee puts up a layup. He gets his first 2 points, and the Redbirds are on the board.
I mentioned earlier how it's going to be very important for Illinois State to stand tall in the paint. Good job right there from Lieb.
Mirkovic off the back iron, but an offensive rebound from Hummerkraus. Big Z puts it up. It's good.
And he can definitely shoot it. Two of his best aspects of his game are three-point shooting and blocking shots. Big, big addition from the Illini in the transfer portal.
9-2 Illinois advantage. Doherty with the ball. Back to Skunberg. He's been a big part of this offense. He missed last of season with an injury, but they're really excited to get him involved this season, Coach Ryan Peden said. Skunberg, risky shot off the front iron, and it's corralled by Mirkovic. He wants to go fast. Back over to Big Z. He's feeling himself, but couldn't get the second three of the day to go.
I think one thing that's jumping out to me so far is Mirkovic's pure athleticism and speed. At 6'9", 255, he's still willing to run the floor.
Wagler with the steal. Ahead to Boswell. He's going to pull it out and give it right back to Wagler. Boswell slicing and dicing. Rejected by Lieb.
Good defense right there by Lieb, the 7-footer known for being a blocked shot king.
Coleman engineering the offense, gives it back to Skunberg, who's going in off to the freshman. Out to Pence, who's playing with just one hand. That's all he needs, and it's going to be a foul on Ivicic.
Yeah, it looked like Ivicic gave him a little bit of a shot there right as Pence was going up for the layup. I still can't believe, Andrew, that he's out there playing with the Cavs. Outlets to be the MVC champions and earn a spot in that NCAA tournament. We talked about this a little bit with Coach Peden, but he actually spent some time here in Illinois with John Gross's staff.
So a bit of a homecoming, even though a different staff is. Pence makes both of his free throws. Jake Davis on the court for the first time, a fan favorite. Everyone loves to see a corner three from Jake Davis. Brandon Lee making his Illinois debut as well. The freshman, good pass to Mirkovic, who thought about it, gives it over to Davis. And a little bit of a miscommunication as the Redbirds have some energy on defense as Landon Moore checks in along with Nick Allen.
Yeah, they do, and it looked like the Redbirds were really swarming the ball right there on that last possession, and kind of looked like it got David Mirkovic a little bit flustered.
Landon Moore is going to run the point, gives it back over to Pence, who's played every minute. Fadeaway jumper is good with one hand.
And he's raising that casted hand up to the sky, showing everybody it doesn't matter.
And another good play. Skunberg forces the ball out of Boswell's hand, and a couple Illinois turnovers are turning into Redbird points.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that is really going to help the Redbirds get going. When you're going up against a team that, you know, might have you beat on size and physicality, it's important to get in and win that turnover battle.
Pence has been the trigger man for most of this first half, as Skunberg's also been a key part of the offense. Doherty puts up a three. It's good. Here come the Redbirds, tied ball game.
And expect to see a lot of that from Jack Doherty. The number one thing that stood out to me about this Redbirds team is how much of a flamethrower he is from behind the three-point line.
Boswell drives in and lays in. Illinois back up by 2.
That's a nice finish right there by Boswell. Saw an open lane and immediately took it.
And with the Redbirds starting to score points, Zvonimir Ivicic heads back into the scorer's table. Boswell thought it was all ball, but gets called for the foul.
A little more here on Doherty, who is the one who got fouled right there. He played in 33 games last season, made 71 shots. 59 of those 71 shots were three-pointers, so he is definitely a threat from behind the line.
And whenever you shoot 48% from 3, coaches are going to let you fire at will. Boswell's going to get his first break of the day as Wagler comes back. Landon Wolf going to make his first appearance, the redshirt senior from Cedar Falls, Iowa. As Skunberg is going to get a breather. Both coaches said, yes, this game, they want players to go all out, but it's not always about winning. They want to see some different looks.
Yeah, and Coach Underwood especially stressed that his guys have been going up against one another since June, so it's going to be great for them to get an opportunity to face some new opponents.
Illinois back in zone. Davis stood up. Doherty, another three. Clinks off the back iron. Hummerkaus pulls it in and goes to Big Z, who's going to bring it up the court. Quick reach-in foul on Brandon Lee. Family of basketball players. His dad, Butch Lee, 1978 Naismith Player of the Year. He actually led Marquette to the national championship in '77 and then eventually was a first-round pick. So when your dad's done it all, you kind of feel like you have to too.
Yeah, definitely have a built-in mentor, that's for sure. And Lee looks to make a pretty big impact on this Illinois team.
Davis got rejected out to Hummerkaus, who couldn't get the three ball to rattle in. Good work there and effort by Pence to keep the ball alive as Moore's going to bring it up the court. Moore's got the mismatch on Ivisic. His big brother, Tommy, the twins, he's out for today after he got his tonsils removed. That's going to be a travel on Moore, and it's headed Illinois' way.
Yeah, that was a great defensive possession right there from Big Z. He was able to stay matched up with a smaller guard when he's standing at 7'2", so that was very impressive that he was able to shuffle his feet and not get called for any fouls.
Wagler, known for his amazing ball handling skills, the #1 player in Kansas. Svanamir, it's good.
It's early on, but Svanamir has really looked good so far to start this one, both on defense and shooting the ball very well.
Spent time at Kentucky and Arkansas with Coach John Calipari, and then makes the move to be with his twin brother in Champaign for his 3rd season of college basketball. Hummerkaus harassing Doherty. They're not going to try to let him get a shot off. Pass over to Pence, who thought about the three. Looking to drive in another fadeaway. That's short, and Big Z's going to get the rebound.
It's 2 straight good defensive possessions from Illinois. Let's see if they can turn it around on the offensive end.
Hummerkaus put the shot up, but it's going to be a foul. He's put on a lot of muscle. I'm not going to say weight because he's at the same weight, Coach Underwood said, but he's turned kind of that soft fat into big boy muscle.
Yeah, he has, and Coach Underwood said that Hummerkaus has had the biggest offseason out of anyone. He's one of the hardest workers on this team and is going to have an even bigger role this season than he did last year in his 2nd year up in this Big Ten level.
He was granted a 6th year of eligibility, spent 3 seasons at the NAIA level, and then 1 at Evansville before coming to Illinois. And last season might not have been what people were expecting, but he's taken a huge step this year. Coach Underwood is really excited about what he's going to bring as he makes the first free throw.
Yeah, and he said that not only is he going to have a big role, he's going to be playing multiple positions for this team. And he's a rather large guy, so that could come in clutch for maybe some small ball lineups where he has to go out there and maybe run the 5.
Lieb checks back in, and Mason Clabo is going to make his first appearance, a freshman. This kid's good. He was Mr. Basketball in North Dakota. Illinois State, since 1992, they've only ever had 2 Mr. Basketballs, and they're both on the roster now in Clabo and Kinzinger. Clabo is the state's all-time leading scorer. So that guy, he's a playmaker, but he's a scorer at will. And he has a chance to crack this lineup, Coach said.
Yeah, Coach Beaton said that both these guys in Clabo, and Coleman are both going to have chances to carve out serious rotational minutes, which is big for a team that's looking to compete in the MVC and make it to the NCAA tournament.
And they will get a little help when they're able to get Chase Walker and Johnny Kinzinger. Walker, most publications have him as the preseason player of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference. The transformation he's done to his body has been amazing. But he was seen in a boot before the game, so no timetable on his return. Could be day-to-day, we were told. But they're gonna need him when the season starts as Davis takes it away. Pass ahead to Boswell, takes it himself, misses the lay-in. But Davis taps it back out, and Boswell was on the line. So the extra effort ends up not working out in the long run, Cooper.
No, it did not, but still love to see that. Love to see these Illini players hustle and go after loose balls like that. No matter if it's an exhibition game or not, this is a team that's gonna fight on every single possession.
Moore, the transfer from Butler from Bloomington. He was actually recruited the first time he transferred, but took a 2nd time to get him to come to Bloomington Normal. Back out to Clabo. His first time with the ball. Yeah, he took an extra step there, freshman mistake.
Yeah, and that's something that you're going to have to get paying dividends for him so far in his career.
And to make matters even worse, In percentage of possessions used in the 2024 season, he was 16th in the country. That's out of everybody over 4,000 players, so they used him a lot. But I think this could be good for the team, trying to find other options when those two might have an off day.
Yeah,
Wagler starts with the ball, Cooper.
I think especially with having young players like freshmen out here, this kind of gives them a bit of a jump start to expedite that process and acclimating to D1 level.
Svanimir Ivasic couldn't get the three to go, and it's going to be a long rebound taken in by Skunberg. Inside to Landon Wolf. Wagler got a hand in there, but Illinois State retains possession. Dishes to Coleman, and he's going to pull it out. Skunberg moving around, good ball movement here as they're swinging it around the horn. Coleman drives in, kick out, three ball. Rattles out, Mirkovic with his rebound.
There's a nice pass right there by the Redbirds. Obviously not able to convert, but still good ball movement there.
And Mirkovic turns it into three on the other side. That 6'9", 255-pound freshman, not really playing like a freshman right now.
Definitely not. He has looked very impressive. And one thing to note about these Illini big men, all of them can shoot, so that provides some serious matchup nightmares for opponents.
Gone is the day of Kofi Coburn where you could have a guy just stand in the paint and be a menace there. Now you got to have a three ball, just the way basketball goes. Lieb dishes to Skunberg, thinking about driving in, instead pulls up for a two and gets it to go.
Coach Peden referred to Skunberg as a bit of a Swiss Army knife. He can do everything out there on the floor. He was expected to be one of the Redbirds' top scorers last season, wasn't able to play, so I think he's going to have a big impact this year.
Hummerkaus lays it up. He's playing a little bit of booty ball and showing off his new muscles.
Definitely a grown man take right there, Andrew.
In the last 5 minutes, it's a 12-2 Illinois run. The only points were that jumper the Redbirds just hit as we're under halfway to go here in Champaign in the first half. Clabo, three ball, won't go. Rebound pulled in by Wagler, and he's going to push it over to Hummerkaus. Inside to Mirkovic, who's going to get a foul call. He had that size advantage. They're really using him down in the paint, but he's also a perimeter player too.
Yeah, he has had a really good start to this game, and he can score at every level out there. I think that's something that the Illini are going to lean on throughout the entire season. We're getting a new big man checking in here for the Illini. Jason Jacktis comes into the game for the first time.
Yeah, Jacktis, a redshirt freshman. There was conversation last year that they might have burned his freshman year if the injuries and illness that the Illini dealt with were going to keep up. They decided to keep him as a red shirt, so he turns into a redshirt freshman. He's another one, though, that's had a bit of a body transformation. He's up to 210 now at 6'10", getting his first minutes at State Farm Center.
Yeah, and I know these minutes are certainly pretty impactful for him. His dad is from Champaign. He grew up an Illini fan, so I'm sure it's a cool moment to be out here on the court.
Hummerkaus misses the lay-in. From distance, three won't go. Mirkovic gets his fifth board of the day. Crosses over on the shifty Coleman. Oh, what a move! Inside pass gets hacked, and you could tell David wanted it. A big fella's not supposed to move that fast.
No, he certainly is not, but he really seems like he can do it all. He really wanted that assist to be converted, though. It seemed like he got a little frustrated that the Redbirds were able to poke it away. That crossover was nifty.
Little behind the back, dish it off to Jacktis, but good work there by Landon Wolf to get a foul. Mirkovic is feeling himself, goes up, can't get the basket, but he's going to shoot two.
The Illini are really, it seems like they're playing through Mirkovic right now. He's getting a lot of action offensively. When you have a bit of a mismatch right there, definitely good to try and attack the rim, and even if you can't convert, getting the opponent in foul trouble is still just as important.
He played 50 career games in the ABA for SC Derby. It's also where the Ivasic has played as well. Averaged 8.6 points in his career. But the best fact about him, he's the one guy that Brad Underwood would not want to get in a fight with, and that tells you quite a bit.
He looks like you wouldn't want to get in a fight with him. I mean, I definitely would not. I think another thing that Underwood was stressing is that he talks a ton.
Hummerkaus able to get the offensive rebound and lay it in.
Excuse me, Underwood told us that Mirkovic almost doesn't stop talking during practice, and that's something that has really made this team start to mesh a little bit more.
Kalebo's three won't go. Hummerkaus over to Boswell, makes a move to get around him. Driving in, that's going to be a charge. Good work there by Skunberg to set his feet. It's going back the Redbirds' way.
Yeah, that was a really good play by Skunberg. A bit of a veteran play. Obviously, he's a grad student now, so being able to make his presence felt on both sides of the floor here so far.
And Skunberg came in after 4 seasons at North Dakota State last season. He was expected to be a top 2 or 3 scorer on this team, according to head coach Peden. Instead, he missed all of last year, but they're excited to get him back in the rotation this year. So although he is a returner, there's still some chemistry they need to figure out.
I think that's one of the biggest things that he was stressing is that while it looks like they have everybody back, still having these impactful freshmen and new faces come in, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to adjust.
He's the man with the ball right now. It clangs off the front iron, and Jake Davis going to pull it up the court. Boswell uses the screen from Jackstis. Looking for some help, it goes to Brandon Lee, the 7th highest scorer in the state of New Jersey last year. As there's a whistle and a foul.
Offensive foul, number 1, Brandon Lee, his second.
So that's 2 straight possessions where the Redbirds were able to draw charges. I'm sure Coach Peden is very, very happy about that.
And on the other side, you can hear Coach Underwood yelling, you got to kick that ball out. A couple guys open in the corners. Little selfish play here as Coleman drives it in. He's fast, but can't get anything to go. Mirkovic bounce pass ahead to Lee, trying to make up for it, and it gets blocked, and it's going to be a foul called on Doherty.
Wow, a little bit of a second effort there.
They're integrating very well. Now Illinois State's got to try to do that same thing. Coleman has shown flashes. It just hasn't come through in the stat sheet yet.
Yeah, and I think it's hard for a Redbird player to get tossed into this game where, you know, a lot of their veteran leaders aren't out there on the floor with them. Those guys that are coaching them up during practice that have been helping them out all summer. So I think as soon as those guys come back for the Redbirds, things are just going to be streamlined and feel a lot easier in terms of connectivity.
Lee makes both. Talking about freshmen, we're going to bring another one in for Illinois. It's Blake Fagbemi, the freshman from Naperville, Illinois. He actually won the state title here on this court, so he's been here and done that. He's on the shorter side, but him and Coleman, it's going to be an interesting matchup to see these two go at it. Coleman uses the screen. Davis switches off on him as it's kicked on over to Claybo. Skunberg waited on it, pulls up. The bank is open.
It's a nice shot there from Skunberg, obviously. Gets a little bit of help there from the backboard. You mentioned a little bit about Fagbemi. You said he is on the smaller side, but he's definitely a player that plays with a lot of heart.
Davis' pass goes a little bit wide of Fagbemi. He's driving in. You talk about heart. He showed it right there. Wagler looking to get some space in. Creates himself off the front iron. And a good rebound by Coleman. One thing that stood out to me in warm-ups, that kid can get up there.
Yeah, he certainly can. He has some serious hops, and it's only a matter of time before we see it really come into play here on offense and on the defensive end as well. A little bit about Keaton Wagler. I mean, Brad Underwood told us before the game that he is starting as a freshman, but this is something that he earned. It's not just because there's some players missing for Illinois.
And one of the biggest key pieces, Andrei Stojakovic, believed to be in that starting lineup, that star transfer we touched on in the open from Cal and Stanford. As Doherty puts up a 3, it's good. Here come the Redbirds. But Mihajlo Petrovic, he's believed to be that point guard, another guy. He's from Serbia, and he's dealing with hamstring and an ankle injury, but also an eligibility issue. They're waiting to see when he'll get approved to play. So if this was a regular season game, he wouldn't be ready to go. Tomislav Ivisic dealt with the same problem last year as Mirkovic lays it in, so they're going to have to figure that out. But once those guys get inserted into that lineup, similar to Illinois State, they'll be in their full jive.
Yeah, they definitely will be. And you touched on Petrovic a little bit there. He kind of seems like a guy that might take on some of those point guard responsibilities and really be the conductor of this offense.
Redbirds looking to just get some points on the board. They're down 11, and Coleman throws it away. Jack Doherty wasn't expecting it.
And I like the thought there from Coleman. I think that the Redbirds are really going to have to play through Jack Doherty. He's someone that obviously can shoot the lights out, and when he gets open shots, it's just free opportunities for the Redbirds to tack some points onto the board.
Kylan Boswell back in the game. Zvonimir Ivisic checks in, so Mirkovic gets a little bit of a rest. Zvonimir already has 8 points in the game. He hits the deck as Wagler drives in off the backboard, and 2 points on the board for the freshman.
Tough finish right there from Wagler. Is not intimidated by going up against a little bit of pressure. Was able to switch to his offhand and convert there. Really nice layup.
One of the O'Kelly keys of the game was smart shots as Doherty puts up one of his own, but couldn't get it to go. Illinois is being very efficient right now. They've made 5 of their last 7, looking to make 6 of their last 8, but a foul's called.
Yeah, and they have been really disciplined. This is a team that, especially last season, played with a lot of energy. It was a high-octane team that, you know, dominated in transition. I think if they're able to reel things in and stay disciplined with their shot selection, that's
back-to-back. KJ went 20th as Will Riley went 21st. KJ, third team All Big Ten. Riley was the Big Ten 6th man of the year. So they're replacing that production that took them to the second round of the NCAA tournament. But Underwood is really confident about the guys they have in the building this year.
Yeah, and you love to hear that type of confidence from your head coach if you're an Illini fan. It really seemed like this team is getting very acclimated, and they have a good relationship. He said that he recruits just as much on personality as he does on talent. All of these guys are good teammates, and they work well together.
Boswell's second free throw rattles out, and Coleman comes away with it. Illinois up 31-17 at the 5:20 mark. Good cut by Pence. Puts it up with one hand. I think he thought about slamming it down, but obviously it's going to be tough with that cast.
Yeah, but he is a guy that has some hops to him. 6 points already on the ball game. During warm-ups in a cast, he was hitting 360 dunks.
Jake Davis couldn't get the corner 3 to go as Coleman jumps out of his shoes to grab the rebound. Hummerkaus on him. Bit of a mismatch as Lead gets it. Over to Moore. Haven't seen a ton of Landon Moore yet today, but someone that they think is going to provide a lot of experience and grittiness for the Redbirds this season. Coleman drives in, bounce pass to Lead. It's going to be off the front iron and pulled in by Boswell.
A lot of off-ball movement so far for the Illini. Definitely look for that to benefit guys like Hummerkaus, Zvonimir, and Jake Davis from 3.
Z can't get the 3 to go, but it's an offensive rebound by Jake Davis, and the foul will be called. You talk about a lot of off-ball movement that's been emphasized by their offensive coordinator, also Brad Underwood's son, Tyler Underwood. They had their best offensive season scoring last year. They had 83.6 points per game. That's the most in school history.
And I think a lot of that came down to that transition offense. They were a team last year that liked to get out and get things moving. I think it seems like Kylan Boswell and Keaton Wagler are both going to be guys that ignite the fast break this year and keep that offense pumping.
Davis at the free throw line. He only had 6 attempts all of last season, made half of them. Transferred from Mercer. And like I said, when he stepped on the court, he's been quite a fan favorite here. Only played in 9 minutes, but they're expecting that role to get a little bit bigger this season.
Yeah, and it might have been a bit of a surprise for Illini fans what Davis's role looked like last season. I definitely do think he's going to build up on that. And like you said, he is a 3-point weapon, so always look for him to try and get a 3 ball up. Shot 34.4% from behind the line last year.
Good enough that Underwood called him one of the best shooters in the Big Ten. He's going to sit down and get a breather as Illinois is going to keep that full press on. David Mirkovic comes back on in, and you like to think that offense is going to start running through him. But Illinois State's going to have to find some offense of their own. That's not going to do it as Mirkovic gets a steal. Ahead to Ivasic. Slams it down.
What a play by the Illini right there. Shout out to David Mirkovic, who got that all started and threw it over to Zvonimir for the slam dunk.
They're going to call a technical for hanging on the rim. You hate to see it, but with authority. And Ben Hummerkaus taking that veteran role, telling him you can't do that. But he's got 10 points, and State Farm Center standing on their feet.
You know, one thing you kind of notice here is that it doesn't seem like he's up there for too long.
Yeah, I can see the argument if there's somebody under him. That's a quick whistle.
Nonetheless, an exclamation point play for the Illini that really seemed to ignite the State Farm Center crowd.
And he misses the free throw, so you know what I have to say, ball doesn't lie. We'll take one more look at it. Of course, the safety's the #1 concern. To me, it looks like Skunberg's under him. But I understand when you sway like that, you're probably going to get that quick whistle.
Yeah, it might have been on that second little extension there to pull himself above the rim. really, once again, Mirkovic, great play right there on defense and able to keep the eyes up court and immediately get easy points on the other end.
Lieb fired that pass to Pence, who's frustrated with himself. And you can see, I think he looked at the cast on that one. That's 9 turnovers for a team that doesn't turn the ball over all that much a season ago.
No, their offensive metrics last season were very impressive. They did not turn the ball over very much. They took smart shots. I think that's something they're still going to find a way to get done, but it might take a little bit of time with some new faces.
Boswell tried to get pretty there as the ball's knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be another Jurivicic fitting in very well. He's got 10 points after that emphatic dunk as the ball's into Mirkovic, who's got 7 and 5 rebounds. He's pushing it himself, and they're going to call the foul.
One thing to note about Mirkovic and a lot of these guys that are coming from overseas, they have experience playing club basketball and in pro leagues in Europe. That's something that, you know, has enabled them to play with physicality, and they're used to going up against some tough opponents.
Yeah, Mirkovic draws the foul on Landon Wolf. That's a tough matchup to ask only the 6'5" Wolf. And 6'5" might be a little generous there. It's a big difference in height and size between those two.
Yeah, it definitely is. Mirkovic has been super impressive, not only scoring the basketball, but he's also hauled in 5 rebounds. And something that I've noted, he loves to get out and run. It seems like he's not afraid to try and ignite a fast break for the Illini.
Yeah, the only problem that he's had today is just the free throws, but he's 3 for 6 after making that last one as Illinois pushes the lead to 36-19. Lieb hands it off to Coleman, who's just going to back up. Wolf, big three-pointer, nowhere close as Mirkovic pulls in the rebound. Like you said, he wants to go fast. Over to Boswell. Bam's 3 ball is good.
Yeah, that was a perfect example of what I was just saying. Getting quick rebounds or turnovers and turning them into easy buckets like Boswell just did right there.
Back over to Pence. He's been quiet for the last 5 minutes. He gets it to Skunberg, who's looking to get it over to Lieb. Svanemir hits it out of the way. They're going to call a foul on it. Illinois currently on an 8-0 run, 13-2 in the last 3.5 minutes. As Illinois State has kind of hit a couple lulls here. They haven't scored in 2 minutes. And you've seen that several times throughout that first half.
Yeah, and if you're the Redbirds, you really have to try and go out there and eliminate long scoring runs. It's really important to not let momentum swing too far out of your possession here against a team like Illinois that thrives off of having the momentum on their side.
Lieb also missed last season with an injury, but 2 years ago for the Redbirds, he shot 71% from the line. And he misses his first as Mirkovic pulls it in. Both teams are in the bonus as Boswell is looking to go fast. Mirkovic from distance, off the front iron, it's going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, you touched a little bit about how Lieb hasn't really played in a little bit. That's something that Coach Peden was stressing to us as well. Despite being in his 6th year, he's only played 278 minutes in his career. So getting game confidence under his belt is something that even a 6th-year senior needs too.
Skunberg, deep 3. Rattles in and out, and Mirkovic going to keep it himself. The big guy wants to do it solo. Back out to Boswell, same play as before. From the top of the key, he nails it.
Really heads-up play right there from Mirkovic. Was able to field the double team crossing onto him and find the open man in Kylan Boswell.
Wolf with the floater, can't get it to go. The Redbirds just can't buy a bucket right now. They're going fast again. Boswell slices on into the lane. Back out to Mirkovic. He thought about it. Lieb's playing off him a little bit, almost daring him to shoot. Elmerkaus using the big body of David. Lieb tried to get it up and gets fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Nice take right there from Brandon Lee. Only a freshman, but certainly not afraid of scoring the basketball. He averaged over 22 points per game in high school, was a 4-star recruit, so certainly a lot of high expectations for him that it seems like he's not afraid of trying to live up to.
We talk about how there's basketball in his blood. We talked about Butch Lee's dad, but his brother Matthew actually played at St. Peter's in that legendary 2022 Elite 8 run, a team that kind of caught the country's heart. So Lee has a lot of outlets he can go to, and he's played a lot of minutes today, and he's one of the freshmen that Underwood talked about, like, these opportunities might not always be there if it weren't for injuries, but he stepped up and played pretty well.
Right, and that's something that Coach Underwood said is a good thing. It helps these freshmen try and get acclimated to stepping up and playing on the highest level in college.
He makes the second, so 1 for 2 at the line. And Illinois keeping that press on. Redbirds are gonna have to get a bucket here if they don't want this to get too out of hand. Moore with Wagler on him. He keeps it himself, good pass to Doherty, but he hasn't been able to get a 3 off. Lee using his body and gets the bucket to go.
It's a veteran move right there from Brandon Lieb. He used all 7 feet and 1 inch of his frame to convert that basket right there.
Wagler to Mirkovic, pump fake, drives in himself, lays it off the glass with touch.
I've been super impressed with Mirkovic here today. Standing at 6'9", 255, was still able to use some speed and agility right there to get around Lieb for a backdoor basket.
Doherty catch and release is clean. Stops the run for now. And the problem is Illinois just hasn't been missing. They've made 4 of their last 5. Wagler driving in, kick out, Mirkovic, 3 ball. Couldn't get it to go. Davis fighting for a rebound, but it's gonna stay with Illinois. I believe they're gonna call that on Doherty.
You love to see Jake Davis get in there and try and make an impact on an offensive rebound like that. That's something for a guy that didn't have a huge role last season. That's a way that you're gonna carve out some more minutes for yourself.
And a couple of guys on the court with 2 fouls each. We have to let it be known there's going to be no foul outs today. So both coaches can feel free to tinker with their lineups and not be scared of players having to sit on the bench for the rest of the day. Illinois only has 10 players suited up. It's the same for Illinois State as Davis makes the first.
Yeah, and that's the most important part right there of having there be no foul outs with very, very short benches compared to a normal game with all these injuries. That's something that's really going to help both Underwood and Peden.
Under a minute left here in the State Farm Center in this first half. And the lead is now 47-24. Davis picks up his 4th point of the day. Illinois State's going to go fast. Moore controls the offense. Sends it over to Scunberg. As Isaac Erickson getting his first minutes of the day, and Hummerkaus rejects it, showing off his length.
That was a great defensive effort right there from Hummerkaus. Not afraid to stay with that ball and get a hand up there, contest it, and ultimately get a block shot.
You can tell Doherty likes that 3 ball. And Illinois defensively trying their best to not let him get it off. He gets it off there, foot in the air, couldn't get it, and Boswell pulls down the rebound over Allen. 30 seconds to go.
And I wouldn't be surprised if almost every inbounds play was schemed up for Doherty to try and get an open 3.
5-second difference between the game and shot clock. Boswell's going to take his time. Scunberg's on him. He's going to call for the screen from Hummerkaus. He uses it. 5 seconds left. Step back 3. Off the front iron. Mirkovic with the rebound. He can't be stopped. Back out to Boswell. Kicks it to Wagler for 3. Illinois State's going to have to put up a shot if they want it. They won't be able to. And so far, it's been all Illinois here at the State Farm Center. 47-24. Cooper, it's been competitive for the first 10 minutes, but Illinois really started to pull away there at the end.
Yeah.